What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Nathan, and on this planet we send it. And what we're going to be getting in today, well, I just finished making my video yesterday about the bees and how I needed to do something very quick and save them. Well, I was able to, go ahead and secure some resources to hopefully go ahead and save them. So for the plan for this video is I'm going to go up there, I'm going to show you what I got, because it's not just a queen. That's why I'm able to make a short video, but not necessarily a short video. And so we're going to go ahead, I'm going to show you what the plan is from upstairs, and then I got everything going. I got the smoker going and everything, so I've already taken the pre-steps to get on up there and hopefully have the calmest bees, although unfortunately there aren't that many bees, and that's why we're going up there to save them. But I think I got enough mitigating factors in place that we'll go ahead and not have too aggressive bees. But I got a new colony, partial colony, and that's the unknown, so we'll see. All right, I got a plan in place. Risks are acceptable. Let's go ahead and send it. All right, so what I got here is, I wouldn't say a full nuke, I got a partial nuke. I do got a new queen in here from 2024, and it's a nice European, Italian, calm, genes, everything. So I don't know what kind of genes that my previous queens have had. They've all been wild. Now I got one that I know what it is, that it's going to be calm genes and genetics to go ahead, and hopefully once ideally everything takes over, I'll have a pretty calm hive. But that is the goal, the secondary goal. The main goal is that we get what few frames of bees in here into here, and now it's looking a little bit calm and quiet, so even more so why I need to go ahead and move this over. My only real plan on I've seen a couple of techniques down out there on how to move hives over, combine two weak hives, and a lot of them kind of used paper to get in between there. Well, I'm going to kind of force it and not do that. I'm just going to immediately move the hives over to about the center. So when I get into the current hive, I'm going to go ahead and identify which frames are honey only, move those to the outer side, and I'm going to put the new ones in towards the center, so that as bees come and go, they'll be able to know where their queen is. Because especially for the new bees, I want the bees to be able to know exactly where their hive is, and then that way by the end of the night, ideally everyone is in here and there's very minimal fighting. And so the big concern here that is going to be the fighting among the two hives. I'm hoping that the mitigating factors being that, number one, they're both weak hives, or if anything, if one hive is going to take over, I hope the new hive takes over, if it's a hostile takeover. But regardless, I think that both new hives might make them a little bit more accommodating to each other. And also, I'm hoping that by smoking them pretty heavily, that's also going to cause enough confusion that when the smoke settles, they're going to be like, oh, we got a lot of new family here. But we'll see how it goes. That is the plan, and hopefully everything works out. All right, so what we're going to do on this round is we're going to go ahead and just remove the top, set it to the side, and get right on into the brood frame. And for all the queen cups that are in there, just in case there was an actual queen in there, I'm going to smash them just to make sure that there isn't potential queen coming, so that they're more than likely to accept the new queen. Also, what I didn't mention is the person who I got these few frames from, they went ahead and put the queen inside a cage, and that's going to make the new bees, or the bees that the queen is going to be new to, going to make them ideally try to work for the queen. And I'll be able to get a good idea pretty early on whether the hive is accepting the new queen, or if they're going to be violent against the new queen. So I am going to be looking for that. That is a concern, but we'll go ahead and we'll see what happens. All right, let's go ahead and send it. We'll go ahead and let the smoking begin. Got one queen cup here. They've already pretty much used a lot of propolis and sealed up what I did yesterday, so that's pretty cool. Got a lot of honey here. This is the one that had a lot of queen cups. We're gonna go ahead and let's see here. It's kind of hard for me to get my hand in there, so. This one's pretty heavy with honey too. I'm gonna go ahead and just hold this one to the side. Looks like there's a new bee actually coming out there and over there. All right, I got all the queen cells off of these frames. As you can see, I got like, I don't know, like, I'll have to count them up when I do the video, but I think I'm like, I don't know, around 10 or so. But I got 3 frames over here, 4 frames over there full of honey. I think I've got all the cross-combing ones here. If not, I might replace this one. I don't remember if that was the cross-combing one. I might replace that one, but I think there's probably about 3 good frames in here with the queen in a cage. So what I'm about to do is get the smoke going really heavy again, and then I'm just gonna transfer the ones that are over here right into here, and we'll see how they either are liking each other or not liking each other. But I definitely am going to go for the one that moved the first 2 from here is going to be the brood frame and the queen frame, the frame that the queen is tied to. And then I'm going to go ahead and basically look and see how the bees are responding. If they're being friendly, then I'm going to go ahead and just close it right up. If they're not, then I'm going to go ahead and just keep smoking until they really get kind of dazed and confused. All right, let's go ahead and send it. All right, so I want to have a little bit more space for the queen to get in there, so I'm going to just take a couple of frames out first. we'll sort it afterwards. So this was the cross combing frame. I'm gonna go ahead and take this one out and go ahead and start dumping the bees in there. I'm not seeing any really hostile actions right now, so they seem to be pretty calm, so I'm gonna go ahead and just close her up and see what happens. Now the guy that sold me this has some already pre-drawn out comb. I don't want to use that in here, so I'm going to go ahead and not use these resources. I'm just going to dump these into this one and hopefully let the bees kind of come together. We'll see what happens. All right, so I got them all in there. I just got a little bit more bees in here. I'm gonna go ahead and dump on in and we're gonna see what happens. Now, since I know where the queen is, I'm gonna go ahead and put the queen excluder in this time, and hopefully it does. I don't have the same results as I did before. If I do, then it'll be the last time I use the queen excluder. So unfortunately, the queen excluder in the sun had kind of warped a little bit, and I took a lot of unnecessary casualties. Not really too happy with that. Hopefully, on Memorial Day, those that have gone before us, will help the hive, kind of live on, and that's just a coincidence that I just kind of put together right here. But anyways. In all seriousness, what I'm going to do is it's getting a little too tedious for me to go ahead and show every little tidbit on camera. So what I'm going to do right now off camera is I've already moved the nuke box away. I wanted to get the scent of the oak queen kind of away so that they're focused on the new scent with inside the box. I'm already seeing that I'm not seeing too much fighting, and I'm seeing like some of the fanning of the wings at the entrance. So that's telling me that I'm hoping, at least what I'm seeing, again, I'm new to this, that they're not really fighting each other right now, and that the fact that they're fanning their wings is showing that they're trying to signal to all the others where the queen is. So I'm hoping that that's what they're doing, and that they're going to be accepting the queen here. I will be checking in on the queen here basically probably this Friday or Saturday, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure everything is looking good, because right now they did have that little extra gap in between where the queen cage was at. So I want to make sure that I get everything set up so they don't start cross combing. I may even get a little sooner, we'll see. But for right now, I'm going to just one by one go ahead and pull some of these frames, the resource frames, shake them off over here near the hive, and then bring them over to the nuke. And then once all the bees are off and I've kind of shaken all loose, I'm gonna hurry, dump it in the nuke and put the lid on top to kind of secure my resources that I'm gonna go ahead and keep for doing all this. All right, so I got everything cleaned up. Now we're just gonna play the waiting game. So far, they seem to be pretty calm. I don't see much fighting going on, especially at the entrance. Still seeing them fan their wings, you know, trying to let the pheromones go to, you know, let everyone know where the queen is at. So I'm hoping that, you know, as I'm reading it is what I'm actually reading it. So if that's the case, then everything's gonna look good. I'm gonna come check back on it, you know, towards the end of the evening and make sure they're all kind of, you know, going on inside the hive. And if so, then at least, you know, that's a real good sign we're off to a good start. And I'll check in a few days to see, you know, if there's any more frames full of brood other than the one that I put in. And then plus I need to reorganize everything too, because again, where the queen cage is right now, it's kind of creating a place to where they're definitely going to create some cross comb if I don't tend to it as quick as I can. All right, good afternoon. So it is Friday. Last I was in the hive, it was on Monday. So what I want to do now to see if everything is going okay, that the queen is taken to the hive and that everything is looking good, is that I want to see some brood, some new baby larvae in some of the brood frames. And if I see that, I'm not even going to look for the queen. I'm just going to be happy. I'm going to go ahead and close it up. But I do have a little concern because I've been leaving. I left since it's been about 4 days since the last was in here. They had a good chance to maybe drawn some cross comb because there was a pretty good space between the middle frames where the queen cage was at. I want to go ahead and get in there, and if there is an issue to where I'm seeing cross combs, go ahead and address it immediately. I do have some extra frames available in case I do need to go ahead and, you know, replace some, but we'll see what happens when we get in there. Ideally, I just want to see that the queen is making new brood and everything else appears to be in good shape and on its way. So let's go ahead and open the hive back up and see where things are at. All right, now that I got everything opened up, I do want to mention I'm going to try to do this without smoke, only because although now they do seem like they're getting a little aggressive and I'm probably going to go to smoke, but I'm going to try to do it without smoke just because I want to not, you know, make it the least amount as intrusive as possible. And the smoke really does, to be honest, if I'm going to be harvesting soon and everything is taken over really well, then the smoke does get on the honey, so I don't want that to happen too. So I'm going to try to do it without smoke, but I do got everything standing by just in case I do need to get into smoke. All right, let's go ahead and take a look in here. So I was hoping that maybe they're already demonstrating some calm attributes, but apparently I was a little too soon. So we're gonna go ahead and smoke up real good and get on in there. But at least only these crazy ones around me seem to be the aggressive ones. So I'm gonna go ahead and I mean, they even have stingers on the camera. That's pretty impressive. So I'm gonna go ahead and get on in here now. Let's see what's happening. I do want to, if the person who sold me the nuke or the partial nuke, I want to go ahead and take out the frames that have the pre-drawn comb in there already. I want to take those out and replace those with empty frames. So I'm probably going to do that regardless. So let's see what's happening here. All right, so let me go ahead and show you. This is, the queen is out. So that's a good sign right now. Let me go ahead and show that to you. Don't know how well you're gonna see that. I'm gonna kind of turn it a little bit, hoping that it's getting into the camera pretty good. But that side right there is open, so the queen is out. Looks like they did create a queen cell here, so, but it's empty, so that's a good sign too. I'm gonna go ahead and just leave that for now. Let's go ahead and take a look around here real fast. All right, so that's a lot of brood right there. I think that was from the when it all came in, so that's a good sign. So I'm not going to get rid of this one because this does have some of the pre-drawn out comb. But what I'm going to do is probably work to move it to the outer side. I'm not really seeing much extra brood right now, which is a little concerning. So far, every frame that I pulled out, except the one that we originally put in, is filled with honey. So I'm going to go ahead and go on in there, and I need to find the queen. I have to do that. Normally the queen is near the brood, so I'm gonna go ahead and look where look on the brood frame again and start looking all over. So unfortunately I didn't find the queen. So I did find a lot of larvae though. I did find you know, some baby larvae in there, and I'm gonna go ahead and just accept that, let it be, and then I'm just gonna come back in a week and we'll see how it is. But at least it appears, I thought I saw the queen, but the gentleman had told me that it was marked with green, and he did mention that it was the green was either fading or had faded. So I might have saw the queen, so it's in there. So I'm gonna just, again, you know, try to let them, you know, just get going and get started. I did put in 2 empty frames to help them be less honey bound, and that way I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, we'll just let them go on their own and allow them to make it on their own, which they're more than capable of doing. So we're gonna go ahead and lock her up, consider at least the successful transfer complete, and we'll check in to see if they're, you know, making it and surviving, and they got more than just that 1 frame of brood. All right, that's going to go ahead and wrap everything up. You know, I will say that over the last week or so, I've been keeping an eye on them. I was able to harvest some honey from the frames that I took, and I'm pretty happy about that. It's given me a little bit of an idea of what these might be tasting like, and I will say I can't really classify it all as honey because some of it wasn't capped over. I'm really just kind of getting a taste of what some of the pre-honey, you know, tastes like, and I have to be careful because there is a chance this stuff could ferment, and I need to be keeping an eye on that. So as soon as it might start tasting off, I got to pretty much dump it. But I do think it's pretty cool about the colors and different flavors that the Flow Hive will potentially give, since it does kind of every single frame is a different mixture of pollen and is a different flavor. So that'll be pretty interesting. But anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.